Good morning everyone, welcome to Mars. Today I am sharing my 7 secrets to easily shoot amazing star pictures. Let's go! Alright guys, hope you're having an amazing day. So today we are on Mars, aka the Valley of Fire in Nevada. It is 6 AM and it is already 36 degrees Celsius, which must be like 100 plus Fahrenheit. It is totally crazy. And I thought this setting would be appropriate for me to share what a lot of you have been requesting, which is basically how do I get those shots, those Milky Way shots, those star shots that I take at night. So it's gonna be super simple, 7 tips for you to take amazing shots. Let's go, let's get started. Number 1, guys, this is going to be very general and we'll talk about the technical details and the gear just after, but remember something, the stars are really dim, which means whenever you want to shoot the stars, you have to go in a place that has very little light pollution, far from the city, out in the countryside, and also you want to make sure there won't be any cloud that night. I've been here in Utah for a little bit, and well, I didn't manage to get the stars every night because there were a lot of storms passing by, which actually made it not possible to shoot the Milky Way. With that being said, if all those boxes are matched, the next step is going to understand how you can capture those stars with your camera, and for that I've got a few tricks. Let's talk about it, and this is going to be number 2. So basically in night photography, when you're shooting the stars, the most important thing to understand is that you're gonna be doing a lot of trial and errors, because you're doing long exposures and you're not always sure what you're getting. It's so dark outside, so you're gonna do 30-second exposure, 50-second exposure, check, and then retry until you get it right. Now I've got a few hacks for you, and the first one is going to be simply crank up your ISO to the maximum possible, bring down your aperture to the minimum possible, and take dirty shots like those, just to understand what the scene looks like around you. That is the most essential part, simply because it allows you to, instead of having 15, 20, 30 seconds exposures, you only work with 1 second exposures, and then you get the direct feedback. All right, once you've composed your shot correctly, now grab your camera and dial in those settings. ISO 3200, aperture 2.8 or lower, you know the f-stop number, and a minimum shutter speed of 25 seconds. Now you take one shot and you look at it, look at the histogram on your camera and see if it's exposed correctly. If it is, boom, you've got it. Now you can just play around, compose different things and all that. If you don't get it, try again. Maybe if it's too bright, reduce your ISO. If it's too dark, increase your ISO. Tweak as much as you can until you get it right in camera. That's going to be the most important. Now there is something that a lot of you have been asking, and it's basically, how do you focus at night? And that is a very good question. Your whole frame is dark, everything's dark. There's no way for you to do the autofocus unless you have a friend with a lamp that is able to light up the infinity, and then you can focus in the infinity. Otherwise, the trick is simply to put your camera in manual and turn the focus ring until you hit the infinity sign. And when you hit the infinity sign, you come back maybe 0.5 millimeter back, and that's going to be focused on infinity, which are the stars. Now, if you have a mirrorless camera with, for example, Sony lenses that doesn't show you infinity signs, whenever you put your camera in manual, it's gonna show up basically the distance it's focusing at, which is super practical. So you just go all the way to infinity, you turn your focus ring until you see written infinity or that 8 symbol, and that's going to be perfect. Number 4 is something no one asked me, but I really want to emphasize on it. And if you've been watching the channel, you know this is something I touch a lot upon, that I talk a lot about, simply because this is what defines your photography. This is what's going to make the difference between 2 pictures of the same scene. It is basically the subject you're choosing. So even in night photography, even if you're trying to shoot the stars, you have to understand, are you trying to shoot just the stars, or are you trying to have the stars and phase as a subject? When I say phases, it's like enhance the scene, enhance the subject. You've seen those composites of people dropping Milky Ways in the cities. That would be an example of a composite where the subject is a city and the Milky Way is really giving that epic feel to the city. Now that's never gonna happen in reality, but who cares? If you're shooting at night and you're in the nature, you can use a buddy with a flashlight, or yourself if you put a timer. You can use a tree. That's exactly what I was doing the other day in Zion National Park. I was using that funny curved tree that looked like a bonsai that's stuck on a rock. It looks really cool. And I took a different shots. I light it up, backlit it, front lit it. I just tried a bunch of different things, and now I'm still not sure which one I prefer the most, to be honest, but I think the one where it's a little bit backlit is the best for me. So it gives me a subject, it gives me the Milky Way in the background, and I personally love that. It helps any viewer focus on something, a story you want to tell. For example, the story of me sitting with my flashlight and lighting up the tree. This is basically a story of my night in Zion. It's really what I was doing. I was just sitting here looking at the stars, and there was a tree in front of me and I thought, let's capture that. Whew. That's us speaking again on subject and composition. Now let's move on to secret number 5. Secret number 5, which is simply a question you might ask yourself: how come my stars are blurry? Well, first of all, if you got the focus right, there's still a chance that your stars are blurry. They're not like a point, they're more like a little strike on the image. I don't even know how to say it, it doesn't matter. It's like a little, you know, like someone used a pen and painted. It is actually a little line. And you might be wondering, oh well, how come? What happened here? Well, that is very simple, guys, because guess what? The Milky Way actually turns around at night, which is absolutely beautiful. You might have seen those crazy time lapses of the Milky Way at night. It's insane. So now there is something to remember when you're doing long exposure. If you're shooting 25 seconds, 30 seconds, even in a few seconds, the Milky Way is going to move. Yes, it's going to move by a minimum amount of distance, but if you zoomed in on the Milky Way and you're shooting at 30 seconds, you will see a little light rate. Just a rule of thumb is that if you're shooting with a wide angle, anything above 25 seconds is going to have that like little motion blur on the stars. So if you don't know where it's coming from, that's probably why. Reduce your shutter speed to maybe 15 seconds, 10 seconds, try it, crank up the ISO and see if you see the difference or not. And if you see it, perfect. If you don't see it, well, I don't know, leave me in the comments. I try to figure out why. All right, by now you might be killing it in your camera, but you might be still wondering how come whenever you import your images into Lightroom on your computer, well, why is it so dark? Why are all your shots so dark? Why can you not see the stars and all that? Well, this is something I learned not too long ago that I want to share with you. It's a little trick. It is simply, whenever you're looking at your camera at night, the back screen is actually super bright. So when you're reviewing your images, you might think, whoa, that is really cool. It is very beautiful at the back of my camera. But boom, the moment you bring it into your computer, it is not. When you're at nighttime, you want to go to the menu, you want to go to the back screen lightness, and you want to bring it all the way down, maybe -2. And you will see it makes a huge difference. What you will see in your camera is going to look a lot more like what you're going to see in your computer, and that's going to make your life 1,000 times easier. Hey guys, I don't know about you, but right now I really feel like I'm in a Star Wars movie. The whole scenery is insane. We still have one more secret, but I really feel like I'm in a science fiction movie, like Star Wars, for example. I mean, look at that landscape. It's just incredible.
Hey, whoa, just where do you think you're going?
So let's move on to our last tip, last secret. Are you ready, guys? I want to go shoot it in the shade out there. Get ready. Woo! You see the problem? Is that the camera is here and I'm here. I just didn't know how to get the scene of me running here with the camera while still having the camera. Alright guys, let's go back there, but with the camera this time. Secret number 7, guys, should be no secret at all, but look, you have to edit your images. Now that might sound obvious, but it is very obvious. But even more for night photography. The night photography stuff has to be heavily edited. Like out of the camera, it is actually very difficult to see all the details and all the stars that you might want to see. The moment you bring it and you edit the pictures, it's gonna look 1,000,000 times better, and I can tell you. So there are a few things you might want to tweak when you're editing night stars, night photography. And if you want, I can do a specific video on just editing, how I edit from 0 to, can you say that? From beginning till end, how I edit those pictures. But In the meantime, if you just want to play around with it, you have to work a lot on your highlights, on your light, on the white balance, on the clarity. Also, that tool is very helpful. And the most important thing also when you're editing night photos is actually local adjustment. You want to make a lot of local adjustments, maybe to bring out different colors in the stars, to bring out more lightness just in the sky, and all that. That is very crucial. That's where I spend 90% of my time when I'm editing those pictures. And now it's time for a little plug for myself. Look, if you're interested in saving a little bit of time and understanding really how I edit my photos, like the basis of editing my photos, I created a preset that I'm using 24/7 for those night shots with stars. It's a great base for you to start editing those pictures. It's gonna make them look 1,000 times better, and from there you can actually do your own local adjustments depending on the kind of image you have. If you want the presets, please go ahead. The link is in the description. It really helps the channel. It really helps me basically continue those adventures. Yeah, I just want to thank you a lot for all the support. Whether you have the presets or not, it doesn't matter. I am so happy to have each and every one of you right here, right now. So yes, thank you again for being in this YouTube and photography adventure. Et voilà, now that my emotional plug is done, guys, please come over on Instagram. Let's discuss together. Let's get inspired. Send me your night photography pictures. I cannot wait to see what you guys create, if it inspired you, if it helped you. Everything happens like on the day-to-day on Instagram. Here on YouTube, it's mainly the big videos, all the comments, all that. I love the comment section on YouTube, but if you want to interact way faster, Instagram's a great way. So with that being said, guys, I almost forgot to ask you, please hit that like button, share that video with anyone you think who could be remotely interested in shooting the stars, even if it's your goldfish and your cat, the lizard, the rattlesnake. Quick note, I'm going a bit crazy because I didn't sleep much. I'm still looking for the rattlesnakes here in Nevada and Utah. Haven't seen any. I really wanted to get a B-roll of it and a little photo. Hasn't happened yet. I'm kind of bummed, but I'm sure I'll come back and find it one more day. Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you like that craziness, please hit that SUBSCRB button and ring that notification bell. Dong. It's gonna make a huge dong. I just said it, but it's okay. I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Get out there, go shoot. Please get some sleep also, because otherwise you're gonna go just as crazy as me. See you, bye.